Mr. Wilson Jett, reconsider your course of action. I truly doubt this is what you desire. She voiced her concern. My response came with a lift of my eyebrows. And your reasoning, Doc? It's understandable that the urge for retribution is strong, but from what I've seen, it's a path that often leads to unintended consequences. Consequences I'm certain you want to avoid, she explained. My gaze shifted to the right, landing on Mia, who was quietly trying to blend into the background, her head bowed as if to shield herself from the conversation at hand. After observing her for a brief moment, my attention returned to Dr. Phillips, catching her in a somewhat forced attempt at a congenial smile. The absence of any jewelry on her left hand didn't escape my notice. She was an appealing woman, not far off from my own age, yet her presence had become increasingly irksome over the recent weeks. Well, Doc, I said, stifling a yawn, I really can't grasp what you're implying by suggesting this will backfire on me. It's hard to see how this could end up being the case. Let's examine the situation, the doctor began. What Maya has done can certainly be seen as selfish and incorrect. Seeking revenge follows a similar path of being selfish and incorrect, but it carries the added weight of being an act of pure malice. Mia, and her actions, did not directly harm you. Opting for revenge would only signal to Mia that your intentions are rooted in causing her pain, indicating a lack of love or concern for her or the well-being of your marriage. However, the fact that you're sitting here tells me you do care. But apologies, Doc, it seems you might have overlooked something. I've already initiated divorce proceedings, remember? My presence here isn't entirely by choice. It was Old Faithful, a nickname I fondly use, mirroring the geyser in Yellowstone National Park, that resisted and insisted on these sessions, leading to the court's decision. Indeed, cooperation is essential for rebuilding trust, yet it becomes a more challenging task if she begins to doubt your intentions. Imagine if she perceives your actions as too harmful and opts to leave the marriage. I offer her a smile. To me, that would appear quite hypocritical. What's your take, Mia? Suppose I were unfaithful with not just one, but perhaps 4 others, repeatedly, would you then abandon our marriage? Mr. Wilson, the noblest form of retaliation is maintaining your integrity and values rather than descending to engage in an affair out of spite, advised the therapist. I appreciate your insight, Doc, yet my query to my wife remains unaddressed. Naya, perhaps you could participate. What's the path to mending our relationship if you dodge the tough inquiries? Suppose I retaliated by being with 4 different women, repeatedly, aiming for balance. Would you view us as on even footing, or believe our situation to be beyond repair? Maya's face contorted in discomfort. Please, Doc, just call me Jet, for heaven's sake, Mr. Wilson implored. All right, Jet, the doctor responded. This approach isn't helping. Regardless of whether you choose to work on your marriage, your dignity, self-worth, and joy are yours to keep. They're not for anyone else to destroy. Avoid sinking to actions that mirror Maya's betrayal. Rise above and concentrate on what makes you strong. You. By building a stronger, more joyful, and confident version of yourself, you're actually enacting the best form of revenge. It's also the only way we'll pinpoint the underlying issues in your marriage that led to Maya's unfaithfulness. Betrayal, I whispered. Pardon? Dr. Phillips inquired. Betrayals, doctor. She was unfaithful to me with multiple men. However, I'd prefer to shift our conversation to something else now, if that's all right with you. Dr. Phillips gave a confirming nod. Maya acted as if this conversation wasn't occurring. Nia, I'll circle back to my earlier question after a while, giving you a moment to contemplate your response. So, Doc, you're telling me I've got to step up, keep my spirits high, and focus so we can uncover why Maya strayed. We're aiming to pinpoint what's lacking in our marriage that led her to be unfaithful with multiple men, correct? Exactly, Jet. By understanding these underlying issues, we can tackle them constructively and start mending your bond. So what you're saying is, it's on me that she stepped out. Framing it that way isn't helpful, Jet. And somewhat, yes, you share the responsibility. Women content and satisfied in their relationships don't seek others. I shot her a look of disbelief, which she chose to overlook. A marriage requires effort from both parties to remain solid and prevent wandering. Identifying and addressing these issues increases the chance of fostering fidelity, trust, and peace. For a moment, I was taken aback, pondering over my thoughts before I finally spoke in a low voice. I'm calling it out as complete nonsense and trickery. Excuse me? The doctor replied, clearly taken aback. Deception, Doc. a deceitful scheme designed for a secretive agenda. I'm familiar with the term Jet. It's just that I fail to see why you believe there's any form of deceit happening here. Well, for starters, my cheating wife, who pretends she's interested in mending our relationship, a relationship she's the one who damaged, is now avoiding this conversation. It takes two to work on a marriage, yet she's nowhere to be found in this effort. And on top of that, you find it fitting to blame me for her immoral actions. Enough, Doc, Mr. Wilson interjected. This catch is mine, and I've earned my right to speak. If our marriage hit a snag, it's only right that my dear wife would bring it up, so we could tackle it together, don't you think? She gave a slight nod, her cheeks tinged with embarrassment. Hence, if she chose to address her concerns and aspirations for resolving our marital issues directly with me, and I turned a deaf ear or dismissed her worries, then surely the blame for perpetuating our marital strife falls on me. Indeed, but if that were the situation, then it was up to her to either come to terms with it or not, and to decide whether to end the marriage or keep striving to mend it. But she didn't. To my knowledge, she was content. I'm far from perfect, but she never once mentioned being unhappy or pointed out any part of our marriage that she felt was so problematic it warranted blowing everything up. No, Doc, if she was feeling unsatisfied or unhappy with our union, then her actions have absolved me from any guilt. It's her own doing, and your efforts to pin the blame on me are just tricks, which I outright reject. Jet, if you're unable to acknowledge your part in this, I can assure you, your marriage is on a path to failure. I gradually rose from my seat, then walked toward the exit. I believe we're finished here. Dr. Carnes, should you wish to continue assisting us, kindly leave a message for me before your next appointment, giving me a reason to consider coming back. Up until now, our shared existence has been mundane and typical. Mia and I have been spouses for 2 decades. Our paths first crossed in our initial year of college, but we didn't immediately pursue a romantic connection since we were each deeply involved with other people at the time. Yet, at a party during our freshman year, we stumbled upon the realization that we were both single and swiftly started seeing each other. A couple of months into our relationship, I expressed a desire for exclusivity, but Maya was not on the same page. I gazed into her eyes, expressing my gratitude for the recent months we shared and hoped for her happiness in the future. Her expression turned to one of puzzlement. Jet, hold on, what's going on? Are you telling me that our entire relationship hinges on my willingness to be exclusive? Exactly, Mia. I'm in search of a committed partner, not someone I'm casually involved with while they see other people. If that person isn't you, then I need to move on and search for what I truly desire. Jet, it's okay for you to see other people. I'm puzzled why we need to break up for you to explore that. We enjoy each other's company and our intimate moments are amazing. I'm seeing a few other people myself, but still want to keep seeing you. You're welcome to do the same. And if there comes a time when you meet someone you want to get serious with, I'll step aside without any fuss. I believed I had found the one in you, Maya. My apologies for wasting both our time. Farewell. After that, Maya and I never went out again, and I spent the remainder of my junior year exploring relationships with others. We occasionally crossed paths at social gatherings, yet I never initiated conversation or reached out to her. By the time my senior year arrived, I was in a committed relationship with a wonderful Asian woman, contemplating marriage. However, she joyously announced her acceptance into an overseas graduate program with her departure scheduled for a week post-graduation. Her happiness was so genuine that I couldn't bear to share my true feelings, opting instead to support her in her celebration. As time went on, I began to distance myself, though she seemed either not to notice or not to mind. Truthfully, she probably didn't care. And so, a week after graduation, she was gone. Though she occasionally sends letters, that marked the end of our relationship. After completing my degree, I secured a position at a prominent software development company, marking the beginning of my professional journey. The salary was impressive, and within 2 years, an opportunity arose for me to move to the sales department. Initially hired for the development team, my ability to interact effectively with clients soon became apparent, leading to my rapid promotion to the role of implementation project manager and pre-sales consultant for our account managers, who needed someone with both technical expertise and interpersonal skills. The vice president of sales saw potential in me for sales, and her intuition proved correct. In my debut year on the sales team, I achieved 121% of my sales target, contributing significantly to my earnings. Life was good. I had a luxury apartment, a brand new car, and enjoyed the freedoms of bachelorhood. I went on dates and had casual relationships, but deep down, I felt a void. I longed for a meaningful relationship, someone with whom I could share my achievements in life. After enjoying 2 fruitful years in the sales field, my path crossed with Maya's once more, purely by coincidence. She had taken up the role of a junior purchasing agent at the company I was pitching to and was part of the group evaluating our offer and solution. To cut a long story short, we began dating, and it appeared Maya was now open to a serious relationship and sought exclusivity. Observing her change and feeling the spark between us hadn't faded, I consented. Fast forward 18 months, and we were married. 2 years on, we welcomed our son, Peter, into the world. Sadly, we were informed that having another child was not in the cards for us. This news was heartbreaking, yet we found solace in having Pete and chose to focus on the positives in our life. I underwent a vasectomy, and we moved forward, valuing our marriage, each other, our son, and our professional lives. After Pete went off to college, the dynamic between Mia and myself began to shift. Conversations with her became scarce, and she appeared to prefer being anywhere I wasn't. The passion we once shared had nearly vanished, prompting me to question Mia's behavior. She was frequently busy with work, and her demeanor towards me had cooled significantly. I've always been one to confront issues head-on, so I decided to employ a private detective to uncover the truth. This decision ultimately brought us to our current situation. Dr. Carnes here, speaking to Mr. Wilson. I grasped the frustration you felt after our previous meeting, and I want to express my commitment to assisting both you and Mia. I genuinely don't blame you for the choices Maya has made. I acknowledge that every marriage has its challenges, and I agree with you that our primary focus should be on Mia's approach to these issues. My goal is for both of you to emerge stronger from this ordeal. I'm here to support you in healing from the hurt caused by Maya and to navigate through this altered state of your relationship. I urge you not to lose faith in me, in Mia, or in the bond you share. I'm looking forward to our next session, hoping earnestly that you will be present. I was eager to get a response to my inquiry. Given that Maya was at a friend's place and we were not on speaking terms, I decided, why not, let's try Doc once more. Besides, there's the risk of being found in contempt of court for not cooperating, leading to the requirement of beginning the therapy sessions anew. Since everything began, have the two of you shared any moments of closeness? My gaze was fixed on Mia, who appeared as if she hadn't moved from her spot or altered her posture since our previous meeting. I paused before responding. No, Doc, there hasn't been any closeness between us. My eyes remained on Mia, who persistently avoided making eye contact with either me or the therapist. What's the reason for that, Jet? Doc, would it be all right if I spoke directly to Mia for a moment? She seemed hesitant, but nodded in approval. Mia, are you here to engage or not? It feels like I'm carrying all the weight here, and last I checked, I wasn't the one who was dishonest and unfaithful. You're the one who wanted this. It's time for you to either commit to this process or I'm walking away. Sorry, I'll make more of an effort. Yes, I'll engage. All right, wonderful. The doctor is curious about our lack of intimacy. How about you tackle that question first? I'll fill in any details afterward. Of course, my apologies. The thing is, Jet isn't communicating with me, and currently, I'm staying at a friend's place, so our opportunities are non-existent, and it's just one standstill after another. Go on, I prompted. Additionally, I haven't been screened for any STEs. Just more and more standstills. Continue, I urge once more. Moreover, Jet has expressed that he's not ready for physical closeness right now. That's not exactly how I put it, but indeed, it's a less vivid version of my words. Doc, can you guess the number of times I've been tempted to cheat over the years? How could I possibly know? However, I'd guess you've had your fair share of chances. Given your good looks, fitness, and success, it's reasonable to think there were many such moments. I gave her a playful wink, and a faint blush appeared on her cheeks. Absolutely, and the offers keep on coming. Doc, there's an issue I'm grappling with. Ignoring Maya's complete lack of honesty and her self-centered actions, not to mention the toll it's taken on my feelings for her, there are 3 main reasons I can't bring myself to be close to her. The first one is about perception. I can't shake off the feeling that being intimate with her, especially before our marriage was fully realized, would somehow signal my acceptance of her cheating. That's something I can't stand by. The second reason is my health concern. The thought of possibly exposing myself to STDs because of her is terrifying, I said, managing a laugh. I must find equilibrium. I've turned away every advance, jest aside. My commitment and adoration for my wife were so profound that the thought of causing her pain or endangering our bond was unbearable. Yet, it seems she has explored the magic of 5 different wands, more than once with each. To restore harmony, I believe it's only fair I explore similar experiences with other women. This isn't a quest for vengeance, Doc. That's merely a side effect. It's about ensuring fairness, equality, and balance. These are crucial for mending our marriage, don't you think? Mia shivered, while Dr. Phillips bit her cheek thoughtfully, pondering her response. 5, she murmured softly. My patience with them was wearing thin. Doc, what's the count on the court-mandated sessions left for us? She glanced at me briefly, considering a shift in topic. Actually, you have 4 more sessions mandated by the court, Jet. All right, I'll pose a question to you. Is there a possibility that within the next 4 meetings, we can make sufficient progress for me to rethink filing for divorce? Mia exhaled heavily. I shifted my gaze towards her. I'm going to level with you, Maya. There's a slim chance, and I want to emphasize, it's not a promise, but the slim chance I might call off the divorce hinges on whether I sense a restoration of equilibrium. Mr. Wilson, I believed I had made clear the severe impact of this. We still have 4 sessions to go, and I believe. Appreciate it, Doc. I understand your stance on the matter. Turning to Mia, he revisited his inquiry from the previous week. Suppose I think the only chance for us to remain together involves me being intimate with 5 other women several times. What's your stance? Would you conclude our marriage is beyond saving and agree to a divorce, or would you be willing to accept such a condition? Maya remained silent, her response lost in her tears. Following a brief period of discomfort, I focused my attention on Dr. Carnes. Reflecting back to our initial meetings in this office, Dr. Carnes, what would you identify as the key to effective therapy? Transparency. It's imperative that both of you are forthright with me and yourselves to make progress, he emphasized. Considering that, Beverly, do you believe I was transparent with you? At the mention of her name, her eyes slightly widened. Indeed, I do believe you were entirely transparent with me, Jet. Thank you. And regarding Old Faithful, would you say your feelings are similar? She gazed at Mia with a contemplative expression, noticing Maya appeared somewhat uneasy. To be honest, I'm not sure I can respond to that. Mia, you've been quite quiet throughout our meetings, and reflecting on it now, it raises questions for me. Yes, me too. Can you believe Maya hasn't stopped her cheating ways, Beverly? Turns out her roommate is actually her latest romantic partner. Mia curled up in her seat, tears starting to fall silently. Dr. Carnes' expression turned to one of concern. Beverly, what's the least we need to do to wrap up these sessions in a way that the court will accept? Beverly? Oh, apologies. What was that? Yes, of course. I have the option to end the sessions and go directly to court if it seems like there's no benefit in continuing. What's your advice, Bev? I asked, grinning. She examined my expression thoughtfully for a short while. Then, her face slowly broke into a genuine small smile as she looked directly at me. I'm going to notify the court right away that I suggest we halt the sessions and proceed with your divorce, she answered. Maya started to tremble and cry. Appreciate it, Bev, I said, offering my hand. Promise to ring me up once we wrap this case. I regret you weren't the first one I worked with. Bev's eyes lit up just as Maya collapsed. Absolutely, Jet.